friends. Welcome to this beautiful evening with the Global Women in Leadership Conversation Series. I'm Aparna G. Kumar again, the Global Chairperson for Women on Empowerment of GCPIT and your host for the evening. Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. This for International Women's Day 2021. This theme aims to celebrate the tremendous efforts by women and girls around the world in shaping a more equal future. Through this leadership conversation series, we are also aiming to celebrate the unsung heroes who have been relentlessly working for the empowerment of women and for the betterment of the society. We at GCPIT also believe that it is critically important for all of us to look at all the challenges women often face and clear the path for talented and dynamic leaders to rise to the top. This understanding, together with our own commitment to fostering a culture at GCPIT and CMSME that is both diverse and inclusive, inspired us to start this conversation series on women and leadership. This series will have 100 global women leaders sharing their stories and experiences with us every day, which will be a learning university for all of us. We are aiming this series and as an eye-opener to the society, which will surely encourage leaders to take clear and decisive steps to develop the leadership potential of their female employees. GCPIT's initiatives like the Global Women's Business Summit, Womenomics Global Movement, and She Trades Global Mission, and the following on programming have one objective to bring more women into the C-suite. These events bring together today's most accomplished leaders from the worlds of business, politics, sports, and the media to inspire the next generation of women leaders. Today, we have with us a very special person. You have heard her speaking. She is the Vice President of the National Stock Exchange of India Limited, which is currently ranked the world's second largest exchange in cash market trades. He is responsible for all India business development initiatives of NSE for listing of small and medium enterprises, SMEs on the board. She is a postgraduate in financial management and commerce and law graduate with nearly 20 years of experience of working with NSE. In her earlier roles at NSE, she has handled functions like listing, investigation, member supervision, clearing corporation operations. She is also the vice chairperson of the World Federation of Exchanges SME Working Group. She is none other than Ms. Rachna Bhizari. Welcome, Rachna, again to the Global Women in Leadership Conversation series.
Thanks, Aparna. And at the outset, I want to congratulate the team CIPT for taking this initiative on the women empowerment and women leadership roles. So thank you so much for having me here. Pleasure being here.
So before beginning the conversation, let me tell you, Rachna, I have been listening to you talking about the opportunities, and I'm really amazed and proud of what you are doing. And many women in our country don't even know what is NSE. You are holding this prestigious post here. Tell me, where did this all start?
I think just normal. I was a management graduate, completed MBA in finance. At that point of time when I completed finance, I think finance was going through tough times with respect to placements, and I kept wondering, why did I get into finance? I should have gone into marketing, which is the always available field. But somehow my passion was in finances, and I wanted to get into the banking and the financial sector as well. So it took me some time. I think I had to wait for a right opportunity, but bang on after my first, I think this is my first job at NSE. I applied for it, got selected fortunately, and that's how I started with NSE in the year 2000. So that's how it has been. But I think I was blessed, and NSE is a great institution to be associated with.
Okay, that's great. And as a as a leader, were there any significant barriers in your journey, or do you think women usually, when they reach such positions, they face some barriers?
Yeah, actually, Aparna, I totally agree. At a point of time, and at various points of time in life, we come across where we feel, oh my God, I've come across an obstacle, a barrier, and it's very difficult to go through. But what I realized over a period of time is that, most of these barriers are something that is self-created within us. We fix our own limits, and we realize we draw boundaries within ourselves, and this is what I will be able to achieve. This is what I can't do, because if I'm doing this, I cannot do that. So I think it's about somewhere down the line, I think as I grew up in this organization and as I grew up facing life more and more and face the realities. I got into my family way. I had a daughter. So I said that it's important as you grow with your life, you realize that these are not showstoppers. It's just you have to overcome them. You've got to build your support system in such a manner that you're able to actually manage both the things. So I don't see as large barriers coming in the way of women. It's about we restricting ourselves to go out there and do what we want to do.
Right. And you were mentioning about the support system, right? So
Yes.
I'm sure your work takes a lot of your time. So how do you balance your family and your work?
Again, balance, work-life balance is much spoken about, and I think you have to work towards it. Nothing comes automatically. Work-life balance doesn't come automatically. You actually got to work towards it. You've got to set your priorities right. There are times when you have to be taking a back seat at your office because your home needs you, and equally, I think you have to put your home on the back end when your office needs you. So I think it's about getting your priorities right, deciding where you want to be, finishing things and moving ahead in life. And most importantly, as women, I think somehow this is the problem with most Indian women is, we want to get into the superwoman phase, where we want to do everything on our own. We got to teach our child on our own. We got to cook foods at our home on our own. We got to do most of the things on our own. I don't know why the syndrome is there with us women, but I think it's important, very, very important to acknowledge the fact that you cannot do everything on your own. You can see superwomen on the television screen, but to be a superwoman takes a toll on the women itself. So it's very important to develop a support system, or right support system. Learn to delegate. It's again very, very important that we learn to delegate. And support system can be in form of your parents, your in-laws. It could be your friends. Even there are so many offices with support. Building a very strong support system across you so that you're able to deliver effectively without the worries of what's happening with your child when you're away, or what's happening at the school when you are away. So I think there are many. I think over a period of time, I think a lot of development is taking place in the society. The mindsets have changed across, and a lot of facilities have come up for working women. It's about how we want to adapt ourselves to it, change us according to it, and move on and strike that balance between work and life. It's something that you would work upon. It doesn't come automatically.
Yes, as we are talking about the support system, do you think communicating with the family is very, very important? How important is communication?
Very important, very important. And you have to be honest, you have to be transformed. I think you have to be very transparent in your dealings, in your communications, not only with family, even your colleagues, even your team members, with everybody. It's important to have a honest communication, a very transparent communication. And I think it's important to be very assertive about what you will do and what you will not do, what you can and what you cannot. So I think that's also, again, a very important piece in your communication. It has to be designed. And I think that's it. If you have right intents and you communicate that effectively, I think things become much easier.
Right, and most of the times when we are really busy, our friends need us, our family needs us. So how do you manage that? Something suddenly comes up.
Yeah, I think one thing which we all have to accept is we can't keep everybody happy at all the times. So I think that's it. But I think when family needs you, we have to be around, and we have to do what it takes to be around with them, because it's because of the family support. It's because of the good wishes. It's about everything that they've done for you, that you are able to do what you are today. If it was not for my in-laws that were supporting me, or if it was not for my mom and my pops, believing in me that I could do something, I wouldn't have been here. So I think, it's important that we accept that fact, and we are there when they need us, because I think they have supported us and made us what we are today. And,
right. I think delegation and communication plays a very important role here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are an inspiration for many. So who has inspired you on your journey?
I think it's, she might not know it, but it's my mom who inspired me. I think, I think we watch our mothers while we grow up, and, sometimes we want to be like them, so I think it's my mom. She was my unsung hero that, yes, this is what it is, she inspired me. So the confidence that she gave me, I think there were three of us, and the best thing she did to us was that, we were three kids. We were not two daughters and one son. We were three kids. So I think that that fairness, that equal treatment that she brought us up with. And today I realize that it's very important, the self-confidence that I got from her. That yes, you can. There's nothing that stops you from doing something. You can do everything that you put your heart on to. I think the financial independence, she taught me it's very important to be financially independent. Decision making, I think that's one thing which from childhood what I learned from my mom, and today I realize that it's very important, is that taking a decision and standing by your own decision gives you the guts to face anything that comes out of the decision. So that's, I think, she I don't think so she sat and preached me that. She did it, and somehow we inculcated that. So I think she's been very inspiring.
Great. I think most of the women leaders whom I have spoken to have told that moms are their inspiration. So what do you think are the traits women should develop when they are going into leadership positions?
I think what worked for me was clarity of thought. It was very important that you have clarity of thought about what you are heading towards and what you want to do. So that's one thing which I think it's an admirable trait which people have, and you are able to then actually strike a. You're able to actually then push to what you want to do, because you have totally clarity of. You're a women or male out there, but I think thinking differently and thinking big is very important. Short term should be your focus, but long term should be what you should work towards also.
Okay, great. And what is your management style? How do you communicate your team?
I think I'm quite liked by my people. My team likes me. I would love to believe that. So that's how it is. And if you ask me, management style, I think, again, I told you, an honest, transparent communication works quite effectively. And I'm quite assertive in what needs to be done. It's not necessary that you've got to be aggressive everywhere. You can be assertive and still get things done. So I think it's very important. So I think basically I have very simple things about working with my team. It's about being honest, transparent, being empathetic. It's also very important to be empathetic. So I think I consciously work towards these areas.
Okay, and then the last 20 years, I think most of the time you will be working with men, right? So did you ever experience any resistance while leading men?
No, I must say I have been very fortunate, and I think as an organization, I must commend NSE for this. That we were always 20 years back when I joined this organization. Also, we were gender agnostic. We had a fair, though we didn't have any written down policies, but we were always a very fair employer. And I think my bosses, most of my bosses have been men, and I think they have been grooming me very effectively. And I didn't see any resistance either from my peers, or my bosses never, felt shy of expecting something from me just because of gender that I belong to. So I don't think so. I think NSE is a great organization when it comes to that. We were led by women, so I think we've been very, very fair, and I think so. I really don't know about, I can't comment upon that part.
You are really lucky. No, that's really amazing to hear. And what was your organizational culture a few years ago for women and working mothers? And do you feel the company should make some annual efforts towards improving the culture for them?
I think again, like I said, NSE was very gender agnostic. We had a very fair employee policies in place, and I think we were very favorable with respect to our women employees. We encouraged them. We used to have every year have a very great Women Day celebrations, wherein we acknowledge and appreciate the contribution made by women in the organization. So I think women having a very great fair culture, and with respect to, I think even before the government introduced a 6-month maternity leave, NSE was always very promotive about, giving leave to women who needed it, and giving flexi hours, flexi timings to them. So I think, again, as an organization, it's about an institution, what you set up for and what you reflect to. And I think with respect to how we got to be, I think, fair and very employee-friendly culture over a period of time. So I think that's all we've developed upon.
That's really great, and many of the times we feel exhausted, right? After all these activities, there are moments when we feel like we can't take it anymore. Have you ever felt so, or what do you do to recharge yourself?
Yeah, I must have got. I got emotional sometimes, and I felt like it's time to hang up. But this is where your friends come in. This is where your support system comes in. I think it's very important that we develop friend circles outside the company as well as within the company, because we have to even have role models within the company as well, which again gives a lot of inspirations to. I think there are times when I've just said no, I think I'll quit. And then there have been people who are asking me why you want to quit. Is this the reason that you were working for? And then you realize you go back to basics. It's important to go back to the drawing board time and again and see, what is that you wanted to, what is that you set out for, and what is bothering you. Is that a showstopper for you? So I think, once you go back to the drawing board and take a deep breath and say that, no, I think it's not required. The situation is not so grim. And somewhere I think it's important to get into pursuing your hobbies. It's important to get into meditations at one of time. So overall, I think it's important for us to take a seat back and ponder about what is that we want.
That's great. I think most of the leaders have told me about this meditation, spending time with yourself, right? And so what advice would you like to give to the next generation of female leaders?
I think this coming generation is very lucky and a very I would say very dynamic generation. They've come across a time where technology is the in thing. And I think the mindsets of the people over a period of time have changed. They've become more acceptable to women in every field. But I think from the time that I can come across, I think it was again banking and teaching that was more restricted to women. But I think now you see women dominating most of the areas, and they're making their presence felt out there and excelling in what they are. So I think we should just be convicted towards what we want to achieve. I think that's very important. Work towards it and believe in ourselves. There will be times it will be very difficult. There will be emotions which will get carried away, which you can get carried away with. But I think, again, come back to clarity of thought. If you know what you want to pursue and what you want, I think just go and get it. I don't think so there's any ceiling or any thing stopping you.
Right. And what do you think the actions both women and men can take to encourage a greater number of women to lead on the global goals like gender equality or inclusion, diversity and inclusion from across sectors and industries, including business, government, academia, and civil society?
So I think mentoring plays a larger role. I think what we need is men and women, the global men and women leaders getting into this role of mentoring down the line guys and getting them up to a particular expected levels. And I think that's coaching, mentoring is going to be what is going to be very helpful. So I think that's one contribution that should be made by everybody who's in the leadership position. It's very important to develop a second and a third line as well.
Okay, that's great. I have a lot of questions to ask, but let me come into the last two questions. How do you feel being awarded under the SheTrades Global Leadership Awards and being in the list of 100 global women leaders?
It's a overwhelming feeling. So it's nice. You feel nice when you're appreciated and your work gets acknowledged. And I think this SME space itself is very inspirational. So I think it's a very great feeling.
Congratulations once again. And what is your message for SheTrades Global Mission 2021?
All the best. And I think it's a great initiative that we have taken up, that has been taken up. And you really need such initiatives to boost the women, to move to the higher levels and actually, be there where they want to aspire to be. So I think it's a great initiative. I congratulated you earlier, and again, a great commendable initiative by you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rachna, for joining in this conversation today on this Women's Day is like around the corner. Let's together promise to support, mentor, and build more women leaders in the coming years. Thank you so much, dear audience, for being with us till now. We'll be back to more to learn about leadership. Thank you so much and stay safe.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And this is Aparna G. Kumar signing off. Good night.